Blake. I'm going to be giving you guys a review of Starcraft 2, the newest real-time strategy game for the PC, hitting stores July 27th. In Starcraft 2, there are 3 races to choose from: the Terran, the Protoss, and the Zerg. Let's go take a look. As an RTS, the player acts as their own hero, able to construct their own base of operations and raise an army to wage all-out war against the enemy. You can tackle your enemies on your own, or team up with some friends in 2 vs 2, 3 vs 3, and even a 4 vs 4 setting. If you are really feeling ambitious, try the free-for-all option. I love this option because the games are just so chaotic and unpredictable. First off, I love the new graphics, a real step up from its predecessor Starcraft 1, which was released way back in 1998. Everything pops out at you and makes for some dramatic scenery. This is like my favorite aspect of the game because it's such a huge improvement over Starcraft 1 graphics. Death animations, for instance, change depending whether the unit was burnt to a crisp by a flamethrower or melted away by acid. The first time I played the game, I couldn't actually play because the graphics were too intense for me. Even the weeds on the ground were smooth and not at all pixelated. Another great aspect of the game is the sound. Each race has their own theme song that plays in the background of each game. Each unit has their own dialogue when selected, giving the unit their own little personality, making it feel very real to the player.
Man, still stuck in his chicken shit outfit. Time to waste him.
I love this attention to detail. It really enhances the gameplay experience. In combat sequences, the combination of great sound, ridiculous graphics results in a symphony of exploding corpses, laser fire, gunshots, and the occasional collapsing building. Before you can build any sort of massive army or impregnable fortress, you have to harvest the 2 most important resources: minerals and Vespene gas. There is also something called food supply that you gotta watch out for because each unit you build adds to that supply. Both the minerals and the gas are easily accessible throughout the map. However, minerals colored orange are generally harder to reach and difficult to defend because they yield more resources. In this game, it's all about creating a balance between your economy and your military. It's much harder than it seems because at the same time, you have to make important strategic decisions about which units to make, where to build another base, or what upgrades you need to survive. Matches themselves can range in length. Some can only last 5 minutes if a player makes an early mistake and suffers from long-term economic damage. Matches usually end when the map is mined out and no resources are left. So, the players must race to eliminate their enemy's buildings before it happens to them. The game itself is very balanced. In other words, no one race is better than the other. I love how there are so many different strategies available to the player. It makes for some interesting battles since each unit has a different strength and weakness. Some units also have attack bonuses against certain other types of units, such as biological, light, or armored. Say for instance, the enemy masses some heavy-duty capital ships. To counter this, I can quickly react by producing units that do extra damage versus armored, and potentially save my base from destruction. Overall, I would give this game a 10 out of 10. Why? The gameplay is very dynamic because there's always new strategies available to the player, so there's never a dull moment. It's also super fun to play by yourself or with some friends, and the fact that you play against other people and not just computers is very satisfying, especially after a decisive victory. It's just amazing. That's it. The end.